All right. What it do?
Howdy.
We're in. All right. We're gonna be yapping. What are the topics? Do you have a topic?
A little bit of a yap sesh, if you will, in a funky Roblox game.
Yer.
I have a few topics that friends sent because I
Swag.
asked.
But
I
first we
can
gotta
list them
we gotta
out.
find a place.
Oh yeah, what's the vibe? What's the vibe?
What is what is the let's figure out the discussion topic and then we'll find the spot.
Okay, so these are all kind of. Some of them are deeper than others. We have euthanasia,
Let's go with
the
that
death.
one. Euthanasia. Okay. Because I love Asian kids. Get it? Youth in Asia. All right.
You're so funny.
Oh, I went into the back rooms. How do I get out?
Respawn.
Yeah, the back rooms is like the one you can't just leave. I also got McDonald's
Yeah, I have a bowl of katsu curry
and
and a cup.
of
Cheers.
Coca-Cola.
And a little bit of rum. Get a little funky. Get a little
All right,
funky.
which door did you go in? Oh, you're still here.
What? Okay, so we're talking deep convo. We want something. Okay, I know. I think I know which one to go to. I just have to remember how to get there. Um,
Ooh, there's Dreamcore over here. This one's Dreamcore.
I follow you. I follow you. Stay outside. Where you at?
Over here.
I come.
This one. Oh, yo, did I ever show you how to get through the wall here?
No.
So you hit the Bible and it makes everything turn evil.
Oh, oh, I'm through.
And then yeah, and then you get to go through here.
The walls may be closing in, but there's still a way out. Not with euthanasia. Oh, oh, I remember falling through this when we were.
Oh, oh dang. What do we think? No, not out here, not
Hmm.
out here.
Come to this door. Oh, this is the last place we were at. Or do you want a new place?
Yeah, no, we gotta go to a different place.
Okay, okay.
I just got gristle in my chicken nugget and now I'm mad.
I went through the other door. Over here. Oh, Angel Plane. No,
Oh.
not the time one.
Yeah, that one's boring.
Oh, this is kind of nice.
Yup, swings.
No, literally. Hell yeah. Took me a minute. Took me a minute.
All right.
Okay.
This is a solid one for the discussion topic of euthanasia.
I think so. I agree.
Okay, so youth in Asia.
So euthanasia.
Yeah,
Let's break down first what euthanasia is.
well, it's like killing somebody with like a humane way.
Yeah.
So
I'll look I'll
it could be with chemicals, it could be with a bullet, probably. I don't know. Let's get a Google definition.
Google definition: the act of intentionally ending a life to relieve pain and suffering, and its legality varies by country and U.S. state. Can be active, a direct act like a lethal injection, or passive, withholding life support. And it can be voluntary. Yeah, it can be voluntary, patient requested, or non-voluntary decision made by another person for an incompetent patient. Euthanasia is also sometimes confused with physician-assisted suicide, where a doctor provides the means for a patient to end their own life. Yeah, that last part doesn't really. More serious part, the like death penalty, for example.
Death penalty.
How do you feel
That's a
about
good
the
one.
death penalty?
Um,
That's actually not one of the topics.
yeah. Well, so euthanasia. Well, actually, how do you feel about? Yeah. Okay. We'll start. Well, yeah. We should start with death penalty. So, how do you feel about the death penalty? Do you have a solid, constructed um, view of it?
Honestly, I don't think I do. I think it's not uh, because I'm sensitive of the topic, but I think it's more or less because I honestly just haven't thought about it that deeply. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you know, if it's like thinking on the topic, if it's like this dude murdered 80 people and committed necrophilia and a whole bunch of shit, you're like, whoa, okay, maybe maybe they deserve it. Um, but like thinking deeper into it, um, I'm not too sure, and maybe it's because of the system more than like the actual act, because
Mm-hmm.
there have been a lot of people who have found like who they, as in the government, have like found not guilty after the act has been done.
Yeah.
And even though it is for like what's the word, it's like last act serious shit, I feel like it's kind of an easy way out,
Yeah.
you know, because imagine like someone having to live with it for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I think in that at that point it would give them perspective, maybe not always, but like it would they would have all that time to think about it, what they did or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree a lot with that. I don't really have a super well thought out idea of how it should work. Um, I know the way it is in America. I don't like it.
Mm,
Uh, I, but I do think a death penalty should exist. Um, so the changes I think need to be made are in America right now. It just needs to not exist because our judicial system sucks so bad.
mm.
Um, the penal system, penal, is there's a story to that. Quick side tangent. I was in class the other day, and my professor is talking about this theological idea, and she wouldn't tell us what it was called, but she was like going on and on about how like it's interesting and new to her that it was put into these words, and then she finally says it, and it's penal substitutionary atonement. I'm
It's
already cracking up because it's the beginning of class and I was just messing around with my friend. And then she says penal. And I start cracking up. And she didn't get it, thankfully. Anyways, so our penal system, haha, sucks. And it's just, we would, I, we have a pipeline of low income neighborhoods to prison and then prison to prison to prison to prison. Just because when you're in there, you have to join a gang to be safe, and in order
Mhm.
to join a gang, you have to commit crimes that'll get you more time, and then you're just stuck in there forever if you want to be safe.
Yeah.
Damn, woman.
Oh. Continue.
And I'm getting all this from a guy, from one of my friends that got out of prison not too long ago.
Hmm.
I've told you about him.
Yeah.
He's super cool.
Shout out.
Yeah, no, he actually was able to uh, get some advice from an old guy in the prison that told him not to join a gang, and that's the Yo, I was order number 69. Hell yeah. Anyways,
PhD is real.
well, anyways, um, in a perfect world, we would have a good judicial system that instead of it, well, that we would punish criminals, but the punishment would look more like a lot of work, but also it would look a lot more like therapy because
Hmm.
somebody who commits
Oh,
crimes have like a mental unwellness that leads them to say not caring that they are stealing from a widow or
look up.
killing somebody. Are you up on that cloud?
I am.
Oh, that's
Okay,
insane.
I agree with that. And on it is on the same topic, I'd say. What do you think of not pertaining to America, but like the way they handle people that they jail in like places like Sweden or
Hmm.
Norway? Norway, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually
Have you
just thinking
seen
about
that?
that. I have. I haven't.
Like
I
I've
don't know
seen
too much
videos.
about it, but I've done a little bit of research on it.
I haven't done crazy research. It's more like things I've kind of just like fell into the rabbit hole of
Hmm.
looking into. But like they have really good living conditions. Like,
Hmm. And
they
lower
have
crime
people that
rates.
can't talk to. Yeah, a lot lower crime rates. I'm not saying treat every single person out there like they're a king, but it seems like the way that they seem to handle people who have been jailed with actually helping them and not treating them like animals makes, I guess it's just how humane, like they're not taking their humanity away. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, and like Russia. In Russia, you get put in the freaking gulag, and they have higher
Yeah.
crime. Well, they have lower crime than the U.S., but they have a lot higher mental illness,
Mm,
um, and a lot lower rates of like inmate recovery. So if you go through the freaking gulag, nobody's gonna go to prison because everybody's too afraid to do the time.
yeah.
But that doesn't change like the mental illness in the communities. But if like in Sweden, if somebody goes to the same place as all the rapists because they committed a crap ton of tax fraud, like what? And and,
Yeah.
and if somebody killed their grandma, then yeah, send them to somewhere where it's gonna freaking suck. Make it suck, but also make it a hole with a way out.
I think levels are important. Do you think that certain countries or governments or whatever use that as a scare tactic to like try stopping people, or not always a scare tactic, but like have different ways of going at it?
I mean, like the death penalty. Use the death penalty as a scare tactic, or like just cruel conditions.
Cruel conditions and then eventual death penalty. I mean,
Definitely, yeah. I mean,
how much more go?
you don't want to go to a Venezuelan prison,
Yeah.
and like people who go to those countries and stuff, they know don't screw around while you're there, because if you
Hmm.
do and you get put in prison, it's gonna suck bad.
Mm. But how serious? I'm asking because I genuinely don't know how much more serious the death penalty is outside of the U.S.
They don't have it very much. They don't have it at all in Canada, I don't think. Let me look it up.
I wouldn't think that the U.S. is the only country that has it. Yeah, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China, Egypt, India, Kuwait,
Oh, you got it.
Mauritania, Nigeria, North Korea, Pakistan, Somalia, and Africa. And the US, kinda. In 2021, 56 countries had the death penalty.
Um. Okay, so most first world countries have abolished capital punishment. Exceptions are U.S., Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, China, India, and the
Yeah.
Islamic states. We can get into that one later. Um, so yeah, I don't think it should be abolished. I think the option should be open because, like, if somebody gets sent to prison for killing somebody, they go to prison and then they kill another somebody or try to hurt another somebody,
mm,
they should die. Because, like, you are there to learn remorse. And if you do it again, die. Because the only other solution is, like, solitary confinement, and that's just cruel and unusual punishment. If somebody gets in,
but what if
like
that's
a
what someone
fist fight,
needs?
what?
But I said, what if that's what someone needs? Like genuine separation from everyone. And at that point, I feel.
Well, solitary confinement is uh like pretty much a torture method, which
Mm,
for like a few hours at a time that can be a good thing. But like sending somebody to solitary confinement for like a week, that's messed up.
do you think that actually like messes? I know it messes with your mental, but like changes you to a point that even if you come back, you have that mindset, whatever you got while being in there, like stuck with you.
I don't know, but I know that well, I think that if you're trying to give somebody the treatment they need to be able to function in a social society, I don't think the way to do that is by secluding them from socialization and society.
Hmm.
Like,
That is, yeah.
you need to learn how to work problems out in a healthy way and not kill people. So, what are we going to do? Put you where no people are. Make you more angry all the time. I don't think that's a good way to handle the situation. Also, with the death penalty in the U.S., costs $3.5 million to put somebody down. It costs 80,000 to keep them alive for the rest of their life. It's
Yeah.
way cheaper to just keep somebody alive for the rest of their life.
And again, it lets them contemplate, even if that person doesn't get anywhere. You know, they have the same mindset. They still think that they're justified in whatever action it is they did. At
Hmm.
least it gives them the ability to think about it, whether it be because they choose to, or they talk to other people, whether it be inmates or therapists or whatever they're given, and they at least get to think about it. I think that's like a big thing. Like at least even being able to think about it, no matter how close-minded you are. But I feel like I don't think it's not the problem with that, but I think the problem with people thinking, not people thinking, no freedom of speech. No, I'm kidding. I think the problem is that some people are so headstrong in their beliefs that they don't change, and I think that's where it becomes complicated because then you don't know how to get in their head to help them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the the professionals are pretty good at telling if somebody's actually changing.
Mhm.
But there's a good example of that. His name's Ed Kemper. You ever heard of him?
Mhm. Sounds familiar? Let me look it up.
He was a serial killer, and he was like he was incredible at manipulation. Like he killed his grandparents went to prison, um, faked remorse so well that he became friends with all of his officers and clinicians and stuff,
Hmm.
and they loved him by the time he got out. And it took him like 5 years to get out,
Wow.
and then after he got out, he kept killing, but he would go to a bar every night and hang out with the police team that would go to the bar after their shift,
Huh.
and he would hang out with them. They loved the guy. They were like best friends with him, and he knew all the inner workings of every case because he was friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Little did they know every case was because of Ed.
Hmm. I feel like part of that. I mean, I don't know anything about this dude, so just putting opinion out there.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like part of it definitely had to do with the time. The dude did his murder. He committed his murders between 1972 and 73.
Hmm.
I feel like there was a lot less. First of all, like not security, but like, uh,
Surveillance.
yes, yes, there's a lot less surveillance.
Yeah, it was a lot
Um,
harder to get caught.
a lot of things were off of people's words. Like,
Hmm.
ah, you seem like a good, solid man, and like you learn from being in jail. And honestly, anyone who when he gets out, people don't know that backstory about him.
Yeah, no, those cops
So,
didn't know anything about him being in prison before.
hmm I feel like nowadays, if we're talking about more nowadays, do you think it's more complicated to catch that, or do you think that we have so much tech and so many people that it helps stop people like Ed Kemper from getting out?
Yeah, no, it
Or do you think,
probably does help. I mean, we've made a lot of since the 70s. We made a lot of advancements in the psychological field.
yeah,
Uh, like I don't know how long ago it was, but we used to do electroshock therapy. You know, is your lady
electroshock,
not liking staying at
lobotomy
home all the time? Does she get a wife won't sleep with you? Try electrocution
thing? Try frying her brain a little.
or
That'll probably
lobotomy.
help you.
Jarvis, set her on fire.
Dude, lobotomies are crazy. That is that's
Dude,
kind of
lobotomies are crazy.
hey, your person is a little autistic, but we don't know what autism is yet. Lobotomize them. That'll help you.
Somebody has schizophrenia, maybe stick an ice pick in their skull.
Ooh, that whole process looks so scary.
Originally, the um, lobotomies weren't that bad. They were pretty bad. Like people died a lot still.
Hmm.
But it was an actual surgery where they would open up their head. They would like surgically remove a piece of the frontal lobe and then fix them up, send them on their way. And some people actually got better. However, eventually, one of the doctors involved was like, we need a way to do this to more people more faster. And he came up with the transorbital lobotomy, which
Mm,
means stick an ice pick, not an actual ice pick, but something that looks like an ice pick,
right here.
yeah, through your
Brain.
orbital bone, and then
Oh,
it goes up in right here, and it goes pretty much like that, and then you literally just swirl it around and pull it back out, and you're like, good to go. And he did it out of a van. He drove around and did them out of a van. He did thousands of lobotomies that way.
that is insane. That is actually insane. I
Maybe not thousands. I don't know how many he did. It was a lot though.
Let's look it up. I'm looking up how many lobotomies were done in the U.S. Approximately 50,000 lobotomies were performed in the United States, with the majority occurring between the 1940s and 50s. Around 10,000 of these were the less common transorbital or ice pick procedure,
Okay, yeah. So
championed
10,000.
by Walter Freeman. That's insane. That's still crazy.
Mm-hmm. 10,000 transorbital lobotomies. Google when
Hmm.
the most recent lobotomy happened.
Okay. February of 1967 on Helen Mortensen, who died 3 days later from a brain hemorrhage. Rest in.
How did that happen? What?
We only stuck. We only stuck a piece of metal into her head and made it a little milkshake.
Man, what could
What
what
happened?
what possibly could have gone wrong?
That is insane. I'm glad they don't do it anymore. But like we were talking about earlier, what is it that they give people now that is pretty much the pill version of a lobotomy?
What?
Vivint. Remember
Oh,
not.
okay.
What's it called? Lithium? Lithium?
Yeah, I think you were talking about lithium when you were talking about that. Uh huh.
Yes.
It takes away your sparkle.
I don't want my sparkle to go away,
Yeah, no.
bruh.
I mean, lithium only does that for when you're taking it. I think.
Yeah, but do you think that it can get to a point where you've taken it so consistently or so much of it that the effect sticks with your brain or fucks it up to the point to where you're low key lobotomized?
Yeah. So we actually know somebody who was on lithium. I don't know if you. I'm gonna have to drop hints. Grippy socks.
Yeah, no, actually,
You
I think
remember
I
her?
know. Yeah,
She was on
yeah,
lithium. And she had lots of problems.
yeah,
But I think I
damn.
don't I don't remember what I don't remember why she had to be on lithium, but it was something where she took so much acetaminophen and ibuprofen that she almost died, and then she like needed lithium to live. That's what she told me. So I don't know how true that is.
Well, I feel like part of it is probably also because she went to Grippy Sock Fun Playhouse multiple times.
The nice doctors took her to the pillow room.
Just a little bit more than usual. But I feel like that's also a problem in itself because like she was so young, you
Mhm.
know? Like that's insane.
Yeah, I think her first stint in a mental hospital was when she was like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I'm not saying that people can't have problems that young, but like I feel like there are better ways to handle it than like, oh,
Well, I mean, the
we
first
can't
time was
split.
because well, I think every time was because of an attempt,
Mm,
and which that's got to make you think, what the heck happened, you know? Because I mean, that doesn't just happen.
mm-hmm.
People, I mean,
That person.
people aren't really just born at a point where they just want to kill themselves at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Unalive themselves.
It's okay. It's okay. This is a safe space. Oh, oh, glitched out. Okay. Oh, he's disassociating. A little scary. A little spooky.
I don't like
Huzzah!
TikTok's censorship. It's stupid.
It's because your FBI agent is watching you. Oh, you look a little scary like that. Okay, okay, okay.
That actually looks
New
pretty spooky.
new topic. Enough about lobotomies. Okay.
Yeah. Enough about lobotomies.
Lobotomies.
Let's go.
Labooty.
Let's go to physician-assisted suicide. How do we feel about that?
Explain, break it down for me.
So, I think Sweden has it. There's actually a theory that that's how Ozzy Osbourne died. So, because
The
Ozzy
thunder.
was, he's a good example. I'll use him as an example. He was old.
Mm-hmm.
He had what's it called? Parkinson's,
Hmm.
and or was it ALS? No, it was
Look.
Parkinson's. Yo, it's Alex.
Oh, he had Parkinson's and.
Yeah, so he was in super horrible pain all the time. So I got the hiccups. Okay, so he was in pain all the time, and he was old. He didn't want to live anymore, so it's possible he went to Sweden and put him in a suicide pod and let him just painlessly drift off into death because they
Yeah.
have those there
You know
and it's legal.
that the
What?
suicide pods in Sweden have actually quote unquote. I said, did you know that some of the suicide pods in Sweden have quote unquote not worked before? Maybe this is okay. She took my swing. That's cool.
Stab her,
I'm
stab her in the face. No,
about
we need to bring back the death penalty for her.
to.
She
Yeah. What the
stole the
fuck?
seat.
That's not fair.
Ugh.
What the hell? Here, come on. New place. Follow me. She ruined it. She ruined it.
You ruined
Apparently
my
this is just
dream journal.
this is oh this is just another random fun fact. But apparently, yeah, let's find a new place while we talk. Apparently there have been like oh what's the word? There have been cases that have shown that people who have gone into like the sleep chambers or whatever the fuck that are
Mhm.
in um Sweden, that they didn't work out, and the only reason that people have seen that or that that's a possibility is because people there have been cases where after people have left or passed,
Mhm.
they've been found with like marks around their neck, like strangling. Yeah.
Chat, is this real?
It's actually a little
Wait, there's
crazy.
chairs over by the pond.
Let's go.
I want the
Why are you?
white glow.
Oh, yin and yang. Oh, let me get the black glow.
I wish it was permanent.
Um, I know, but
But yeah, so yeah, let me see if I can find anything on that. What would I look up?
cryo chamber, strangulation marks found.
Oh, I got a hotline.
Women using
CNN.
oh here. I looked up cryo chamber strangulation marks found on patients, and the first thing it brought me to was woman using suicide pod reportedly found with strangulation marks inside. And it starts with the woman was the first user of the Sarko suicide chamber. She died on September 23rd in the middle of a forest near a cabin in Merischaunzen, a sparsely populated part of Switzerland in the Schaffhausen region near the German border, as reported by BBC. Reports of the physical marks on the woman have not been verified, mm, but the Swiss Federal Office of the Police commented on Wednesday. Capsule, as reported by AP News, Exit International, and this is suicide based. It's just talking about how Switzerland allowed president-assisted suicide working the woman. The woman is said to have pressed the button to fill the pod with nitrogen at 3:54 p.m. And Nishke followed the process by video call, but was unable to observe the full process due to technical difficulties, according to the LBC. An autopsy has had discovered strangulation marks on the woman's neck, prompting Peter Steicher, the public prosecutor in Schaffhausen, to extend the scope of the investigation to include the possibility of murder. During that conversation, the prosecution heard from the forensic doctor that the woman had, among other things, have severe injuries to her neck, the Dutch newspaper reported. And then the man who performed the procedure refused to confirm the reports. Hmm. Huh. What do you think about that?
Not a big fan of
Well, first,
suicide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First off, I know it's controversial, which nowadays it might actually be. But no,
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of physician assisted suicide cuz like maybe your life sucks. And that sucks if your life sucks. But also like can we really boil down our lives and the purpose of our lives to simply the net positive or negative of comfy and uncomfy chemicals we get in our brain? I don't think so.
Okay. But now, question: What if it's what if it's like a 98-year-old person who has lived their life and they have severe dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever the fuck it is. Um, and they're at a point where they can't remember things, and it's getting to the point where it's impacting their family severely, and it's impacting them severely because for the few moments that they come back, they realize how it is affecting themselves and other people negatively, and they just don't want to be here anymore. What do you think about that? And then
Yeah,
they
I think
decide, hey, I'm gonna go into a cryo chamber or whatever the hell it is, and I'm actually going to choose to go peacefully. And I think part of it is also because people are afraid of painful deaths. And if that's like a simple solution that's that we would say work, we'll say works hypothetically 100% of the time, like having that out can be tempting.
yeah. So I think like yeah, there are a lot of hard situations um where it would be oh, I just realized I don't have the there we go. Uh there are a lot of situations where it would be easier for um for a lot of people involved to uh let their dementiated aunt just commit suicide or kill them, but I just it's not in my view it's just not
Religiously?
uh yeah usually when I have debates I try to keep it secular um but some things do just honestly boil down to like facts of well I mean fundamentals of my belief system like God gets to choose when you die
Mm-hmm.
and so if you so that 98-year-old dementia patient um you know that's hard but the government will pay to keep them alive
Yeah.
um and the government will pay for a caretaker and I think that's a good thing for the ones that actually need it
Yeah.
um I've I've seen things online where like people will claim disability at a level they don't have, and then their significant other will register as the caretaker, and the caretaker gets
Yeah.
paid a bunch of money, and the disabled person gets paid a bunch of money for being disabled, and then they both just live off the government by doing nothing.
Yeah. I
Uh,
know a few people like that.
yeah, that crap is stupid. But if like there's actually a dementia patient out there that needs their family needs money to pay for the time and stuff to provide for that old person, I think that's a good thing. I also think that if somebody's in a pickle and they need resources,
Financial help?
then yeah, they need to go to the church because the churches will help them. And I
Mm.
think that in a lot of places the government has taken the church's job as which I don't think is all bad. But I
Mm.
wish the church would do more.
But what
Um,
about? What do you think about the churches that are corrupted? The churches who take advantage of the situation?
Yeah, I don't think those are part of the church at all. I think the congregation that are fooled by it, I think they're just a victim of a scam. But I think they're still Christians.
Mm.
However, take Kenneth Copeland. Let me make sure my recording is working right.
Ooh,
Okay, yeah.
excuse.
So I'm gonna keep Roblox up here. Yeah. Let's bring up Kenneth Copeland. Let's bring up his estate. So his net worth is $300 million,
Ooh.
and this is his house. I'm showing the video. It's one of the biggest houses I've ever seen. It's a $7 million tax-free estate. Um, so Kenneth Copeland is an example of a church that I think is corrupt and um, not worthy of the label of church.
Mm.
Because I don't think Kenneth Copeland is a Christian. He may have been at one point, but he ain't now.
Corrupted God to him.
Yep. Because, I mean, he ran a scam where he told all of his old listeners, like, hey, send me your retirement fund and I will make a retirement home for all of my old people in my congregation. I'll buy up all this land, I'll build a massive retirement home on it, and you can all come live on it. And he took all their money and he bought the big estate, and then he built a giant $7 million house on it. And it's owned by the church, so he doesn't have to pay any taxes on any of the land. And
Mm.
he moved in and never built the retirement home, and everybody died. And he's still around.
Damn. Yeah, that's a bit of a scam, I'd say.
Yeah. So that's not something that Christ would do. So I mean, if somebody wants help for their grandma, then they shouldn't go. I mean, if they want to go there, they can try, but I doubt. I mean, the church has a gift shop,
Yeah, that's
so
ridiculous.
I wouldn't go to that church if you want help. I would go to local churches, ask them where you can find food banks, ask them where you can get donations from. Um, and yeah, and there's a lot of ministries that you can apply to those ministries for benefits from them. And
Mm.
some ministries will just give you a monthly stipend of money based on what they can verify about you. So if you can like verify a diagnosis and like a birth certificate, stuff like that, then some ministries will just send you money.
Yeah,
And there might be a catch, like you have to go to church once a month or something like that, but it's never a big deal.
I think that's still to an extent decently fair.
Oh yeah, yeah. So um, yeah, my point is, I don't think that euthanasia is the way out because why would you euthanize? Like, what? This may sound like a stupid question, but it's a serious question. Why? What is the reason for euthanizing an old person that can't remember anything, can't do anything like that? Like, what makes
Mm.
it okay to kill them?
Yeah. Um. Hmm. I don't think that it's okay to kill them, but I think if that person specifically has come to their own terms or is comfortable with that or wants that, then it should be okay for them to consider it and eventually do it if they really want to. I'm not saying
Hmm.
I still understand that, or I'm okay with the fact of like family trying to dissuade them,
Yeah.
if that's the right word, or like be like, okay, but we can do this. But what about for the people who have no family or families just drop them, don't doesn't care?
So, well, why is it okay to let an old person kill themselves rather than let like a teenager who's just depressed kill themselves.
Teenager still has a lot of life to go through, a lot of things
Well,
to.
not necessarily. I mean, they might die tomorrow by getting hit by a car.
Well, yeah, but that I feel like that's something that obviously applies to everyone. But
Yeah,
being a
or what about like a 30-year-old with a terminal illness that's going to kill him in like a year? Should it be okay for them to commit suicide? Should we like allow that?
I think okay. I think at that point they should just live out their lives. If
Yeah,
it's severe pain and to the point that it affects them physically and mentally, then they have their own choice. But maybe it's just the idea of like, oh, you're old, you've lived through life,
yeah,
you've experienced the good and the bad,
mhm,
you know.
yeah,
And I'm not saying all old people. I'm just saying
right, yeah.
in this
Well,
situation.
so
In this, continue.
well, that's the issue is I would if euthanasia were to be legalized, I would be worried about the slippery slope because
Yeah.
that would lead to then being like, hey, if you're old and you're decrepit and whatever, you can just kill yourself if you want.
Hmm.
And then that'll move back to if you're 30 and you want to just kill yourself because you have a terminal illness, just kill yourself. And then it'll
Hmm.
move to if you decide, maybe after a few counseling sessions, that you think life is no longer worth living, that you don't want to go through life, yeah, just kill yourself. And
And
I
I could
think
get
that's
that.
not good. That's just not cool.
I can understand that. No, for sure, I could definitely understand that. First, I don't think. Hmm.
Like
This is
I
a
can
very. I.
understand it would make some people's like lives a little bit more comfortable when it's shortened like that, but it's
Hmm.
not benefiting society in any way.
Mm.
In or at least in
Well,
any way to offset the heavy disbenefit that it would give by killing people.
yeah. I think I agree with you in that, but I think that's because of that reason is also why I think that it should be for old people. Old people in a perfect world. In a perfect world.
Mhm.
In a world where hypothetically they did legalize it for older people, I would hope that they would keep the limit or limit or whatever it is to just to that group of
Mhm.
people. I wouldn't like I think it would be wrong if it got continuously pushed back
Right. So
to
so
younger groups.
if it was like you have to be at least 85 years old or something like that before you can do it.
Yeah. Yes, like you have to be at least 90, 95, whatever the hell.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, you have to go through multiple, what's it called? Like psychiatrists,
Mhm.
they're
Like
like
counseling.
therapy, different things. Yes,
Mhm.
to realize it. Like, oh, I'm old and I actually just want to kill myself because I'm old.
Yeah.
Like, okay, come on now. But like, I'm old and who am I? Wait, why am I here?
Yeah, and at that point they can't consent to anything cuz they're not lucid.
Consent? Mm.
So like
Yeah, that is true.
and so then who would consent for them? Because I mean, people have attorney of what is it? Attorney of
Privilege?
maybe. I don't know. It's like, a husband can I'm trying to think.
Oh, I know
Like
what you mean.
if a man's wife is in a coma, he gets to choose what treatment the
Whether
wife gets. Like, do we want to do this treatment? Do we want to do that treatment? He gets to choose what treatment. If she's under and they're like, do you want to save your wife or the baby? He gets to make the choice.
yeah.
So um, So when there's like somebody with dementia, usually they're like their child has
The right to decide.
yeah. Um, and I think that's really freaking messed up if a child, well, not like child, but like if a person's kid,
Hmm.
if a person's son or daughter decides you're too much of a burden on the family, you don't even know you don't even know where you are.
Well,
Let's
then
just kill you. That
I think
shouldn't be up to
that's
anybody.
where I think that's where like I think that's part of the reason why it should be so limited. I feel like if a person is getting to that age and is even thinking about it, they should do some type of or fill out some type of legal documents to decide that for them before they become physically and mentally unable to decide that for themselves. Like, I don't think it should get to that point of like, oh, my mother, grandparent, whatever, is just so old and they don't really know stuff and I can't really take care of them. I sign off on this. I think it should be more, hey, I think I understand I'm getting to the point where I'm not going to function by myself, function as a person, and this isn't something that I wouldn't want to put on anyone. So while I'm still here, I would like to agree to this option. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want people to be taken advantage of. Me personally, I don't want people to be taken advantage of for that just to benefit others, whether it be family, friends, or whatever. But I
Yeah.
still think that that person should get the option to decide that while they're at least still here, so that if it ever happens, not it doesn't always happen for everyone, but if it does, that option is still signed by them,
Hmm.
so that it can happen when it gets to that point, if it gets to that point.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess I don't. It's hard to put it into. It's hard to articulate why I believe it's just like suicide is never okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little religious on you. Not really religious, but get into the religious topic, which I think is okay. If you're comfortable with it. Okay. Um, do you think that part of that stems from the fact that in Christianity, suicide is a sin?
So, quick clarification.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bible, it says there's only one unforgivable sin, and that is blaspheming of the Holy Spirit. So when people say, "Yeah, that person that committed suicide, they're going to hell," not necessarily true. If a Christian, that is somebody who is saved, commits suicide, them committing suicide does not change anything about their salvation. That is a sin
Mm-hmm.
that has already been forgiven. Uh, so when I say that suicide is a sin, I don't mean, yeah, if you commit suicide, you're going to hell.
It's a sin that
Cause
that'll never be forgiven. Yeah.
yeah, cause that's just first off not true. Second off, people that say that that think they're helping, they're not. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Um, and so uh, when when I say suicide is a sin, sin is such an honor, shame, guilt uh, word. It just carries so much shame and guilt to it.
Carry so much
Um,
weight.
yeah, that it doesn't actually mean because sin,
Mm-hmm.
the biblical the word in the Bible used that translates to sin is an archery term for
Mm-hmm.
an arrow that misses the target.
Yeah.
So when you when you sin, you miss the mark. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you don't. That doesn't mean you are broken. You're a sinner. It means you put another arrow in the you knock another arrow and you shoot again. You know. So
Yeah.
suicide is taking your life and saying, "This is my life. I get to choose what to do with it." Um, God has no say over when I live and when I die.
Mhm.
Um, because everybody was given life by God,
Mhm.
and it is not up to anybody when they die. And that doesn't mean I don't have sympathy for people who want to die.
Yeah.
I get it. Um, but that is to say that I think I think it's not what God wants for you. And
Yeah.
I, a lot of people get upset at the idea of a God who wants to control you, and that's how they see
Mhm.
it. When the reason God wants you to do what he wants you to do isn't so that he can control you.
But so can benefit you.
It's because God created you with those rules in mind, and he wants what's best for you. He's telling you what you need to do to live in your created purpose. Because if you use pliers as a wrench, you're going to break your pliers.
Yeah.
If you live your life in a way that is against your created nature, you're going to break. It's not good for you.
Mhm.
And sinning is just going against what God made you for.
Mm.
And that's also not to say that every impulse is your desired nature, um, because we're fallen creatures. We ate the apple, and our flesh and our spirit are at war all the time. Um,
Mm.
but once you give your life to God fully, then your spirit is made right. And then instead of a war between your flesh and spirit, then it's still a war between your flesh and your spirit, but this time your spirit is locked in. Um, and
Pukin. Okay.
so um, basically, killing yourself bad. Um, it's not.
It's against it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
against the lock-in of your spirit.
that's what I'm saying.
Mm, I see. Well, I know that for you personally, you refer to hmm to things not outside the spirit because it is spiritual, but things that can affect you in a negative way be related to demons. Ex- Break that down a little bit.
You mean like mental health being related to demons and stuff?
Well, not only mental health, but like we'll say certain actions people do, certain things people do. You think that could be because a demon or negative thing or person or whatever it may be out there is drawing you in?
Yeah, so when I say that a lot of the bad in the world has to do with demons, there are three sources of evil.
Mm,
That being, which let me explain evil and good real quick. Good
I'm listening.
is God. God is good. Uh, God, good is not just an attribute of God. It is God. God is good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anything that is good comes from God. So anything that is evil, the opposite of good, is just a lack of God. It is a lack of good. It's a lack of light. Darkness is a lack of light. So, the three sources of darkness, three sources of evil, are flesh, the world, and Satan, um,
Uh-huh.
which translates to, depending on where you're looking, sometimes in a lot of times in Hebrew they use the term the accuser to address Satan, and then a lot of the time, uh, also later in the Old Testament, and a lot in the New Testament, they refer to it as the adversary. Um, and so Satan is just an all-encompassing term for the enemy.
Hmm.
Um, so that includes Lucifer himself. That includes all the all the angels that fell with him, became demons.
Yeah.
So when I, um, cheat on my wife, hypothetically, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have
Example.
a wife, but
Example.
Gah!
One day you'll get there. You'll get there. It's okay. Time, patience is key. I genuinely do believe that patience is key.
Yeah, no, I
I'm not saying looking for someone is bad,
know,
but
I know, I know.
I.
I That's honestly that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Is I'm just like God's timing. I
Mm.
can wait. But anyways, if I go and cheat on my wife, I can't be like it was demons. Demons made me do it. No, that was probably your flesh. Also, if demons are like, hey, you should cheat on your wife, you can say no.
Yeah.
Um, Also, if you feel a temptation to cheat on your wife and you're like, God help me, I don't want to cheat on my wife, please stop me,
Yeah.
and then you go and do it, it's like, come on.
It's like it's giving. I did everything I could, but no one went out of their way to physically stop me. Come on, man.
I
Like,
did everything I could.
like you obviously didn't.
Yeah, like,
Like you fucked up.
God's not going to take away your free will. That's a pretty solid theme throughout the Bible, is God's not going to take away your free will.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, demons don't control you.
Mm.
I think there's two major misconceptions that lead to a lot of danger about the idea of demons. That being that they don't exist, or that they're around every corner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you think they don't exist, they got the jump on you. If they're around every corner, and you think they're super powerful, then you, th- that's the thing about demons. They get their power from how much power you give them. So I
Mm.
think a lot of the tweakers out on the streets of Philadelphia doing the fentanyl, they've given some power to demons in their lives. And even when they're not on drugs, they're probably going to go around tweaking. And I think that has a lot to do with with demonic influence. And if you look at their brains, I think that when you see the difference between a brain of a healthy person and a tweaker, you're going to see the physical manifestation of a spiritual problem. And you
Mm.
can use um, physical means of trying to stabilize that, but ultimately you got to fix their spirit before they're going to get better.
Yeah.
Which is what I think therapy and going to church and having a relationship with Jesus is for.
Mm.
Um, and Because in the Bible, Paul says that the physical is but a shadow in comparison to the spiritual world. Um, we see a shadow of reality. We can see like the effects of reality. Like I can see you're there as an effect of reality, but we don't see reality yet. And we're not going to see the
Or
whole
run through the
reality till we
background.
die. Well, we
Yeah.
are the background. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Is like we are the background. The real reality transcends physical planes, which is why I think psychedelics. That's what I think they do. Is they help you tap in to the real reality. And I've never experienced psychedelics, but you have. Do you think
Yes.
there's anything to that?
Could you explain a little bit more on how you think psychedelics help you tap into the reality before I go into taking psychedelics and how I guess in a way they have helped me tap into that?
So Yeah, and I'm not saying they have helped you tap into that. I'm just curious if you have like an agreement there. So what I'm saying is like I'm not saying that we're not real. We're real.
Yeah.
Everything here is real. And it does have an influence on your spirit and stuff. But I think that the spiritual world is more preeminent. It has more sway than a lot of people think. Um, but yeah, so I guess I think when my idea of when you take psychedelics is it sort of drops down a wall between you and opening up your mind somehow, sort of that third eye sort of thing, to be able to interact with and see through to like the other side of the veil, where you
Hmm.
can communicate with things. And I think a lot of those things are demons, especially if they claim to be angels. Um,
Okay.
and I've heard of people like communicating with things on the other side, having visions, um, and they're always very religious in some
Okay,
way or another.
so I'm gonna make a reference to Funky Odd Guy. You should know.
I bet I do.
First of all, I'm gonna break it down as I think, and I say this every time, and I'm gonna continue to say this every time. I think that when you take psychedelics, no matter what it be, acid, mushrooms, fucking whatever, I really do think that it depends on, first of all, what you're envisioning.
Hmm.
Funky, silly guy went into it like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a bad trip. Like going into, first of all, going into taking psychedelics and having a bad mental, and then having a vision of what you want to experience, it's gonna take you to that because you're already so, I don't know what term to use besides like fucked up.
Yeah.
That eventually you're going to manifest it. I think the best way, or at least how I personally try to do it, is having not a necessarily clear mind, like there's always shit running in my head,
Right.
but having a mind open to whatever spiritual, physical thing is out there, and then just like letting it take the reins and guide me.
Yes.
um I like, a lot of the time, a lot of reflection I've had while on psychedelics, whether it be alone or on the phone or in person with someone, is trying to find, I don't know if peace is the right word, or calm. um Taking psychedelics, especially a lot, um I've come to realize, first of all, I feel a lot more open, way more vulnerable to everything, you know and I think it's partially a big fight to not letting the vulnerability get to you. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
the times everything can be overwhelming, and it's a fight of like not falling into that, and then that's how you get into a, not always bad headspace, but it's a very easy way to get lost. Um, a lot of the times when I've taken psychedelics, um, a pretty basic thing I'd say I do is I close my eyes and I like take a breath, and I don't necessarily empty my head, but I try focusing on like tuning out everything that's outside. And once I get to that point, I can really focus in on calm, and being calm brings a lot of clarity. And then after I get through that process, I can like genuinely and actually get to music change. I can actually get to um like deep questions that I ask myself or wanted to get into in the first place, like being the reason why I took the psychedelics.
Hmm.
Um um like I think it's a fight, but for me personally, I think it's a fight worth fighting for, because once I get over that, I can, I don't know, it just, it really does like help calm me down. Like I can get over the, oh my God, I'm seeing swirls and visions and eyes everywhere. It doesn't, at least for me, it it isn't ever like, oh my god, I saw angels, and I was birthed into Satan multiple times. You know, yeah. Like, I think that's, I don't think it's stupid, but I think because that's what you were envisioning, like you're genuinely not going to get like meaning out of it. Like you wanted to see that and then you saw it. And then you're going to take that as, "Oh my god, my mind was open and this is what the world brought to me because of this." Like, no, you that happened to you because you wanted to see that. And then you got to see it and you get to interpret it however you want. But I think if you genuinely want to feel or experience something like from a, not a different realm, but like actual spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
you have to just keep your mind open. Like in me not trying to envision anything specific, I've brought I've gotten a lot more closure and answers
Mm-hmm.
because I've just let myself be vulnerable to the moment in the world. And because of that, I
Pop my
have,
back. My bad.
yeah, all good, all good. And because of that, I've gotten like to experience actual clarity.
Mm.
Like because I I let myself go through the process of being in a bad zone and dealing with all the shit being overstimulating, I was able to overcome it and genuinely find peace and calm.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got to that point, I could I could envision or experience like actually finding center,
Yeah.
how in that, especially in that experience, because everything is so overstimulating, finding like the ability to stay calm, finding the ability to be able to focus on everything else but still focus on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to like I've been able to not let everything get to me. And I've taken from that how, I guess in a real way, like once you sober up and you're like, wow, it actually wasn't that bad. I was just tripping. Um, like in that it kind of gives me like a takeaway from like just everyday things, every like shit that happens in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I can let all these chaotic things happen in life around me. It doesn't mean I have to be affected by it. It doesn't mean I have to let it get to my head. Instead, I can find like calm, and I can I can help manage those things, whether it be for myself or other people, but also not get myself to a point where it's making me go crazy.
Right. So let
Like,
me ask you a question. So to me, it sounds a lot like sort of an enhanced meditation sort of thing.
yes,
And so, do you think it's possible that um, do you think it's possible to, by taking psychedelics through that enhanced meditation, meditate on things, like, not that you have to, not that every time you use psychedelics you are like meditating on things from another, like meditating on otherworldly entities. Not that you have to
mhm,
be, but do you think it's possible that when you sit there and you use that enhanced meditation to channel yourself toward things like a bad trip and things associated with things like, you know, Satan, demons, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare? Do you think it's possible that when you're using your enhanced meditation to meditate on that stuff and it ends up, like, when you open yourself up like that, because you said you feel like more vulnerable to things, when you make yourself vulnerable to those things, is it, do you think it's possible that that's opening yourself up to otherworldly things that take advantage of that situation, like, yeah, if you're meditating on us we can totally screw you up?
yeah, I think that it definitely can. I think it's still like, I guess you could call it a fight of like everything is trying to get to me right now. Even if you're like by yourself in your room, like I don't know how to describe it. It's just everything is so powerful. Like the world is more than just the street lamp and the sidewalk right next to you. It's like you obviously see things that aren't even there, and I think that it's a continuous fight to find like the balance, not the balance, but like find the calm within to not let any of that affect you, because if you let any of it affect you, if you let things get to you, people, spirits, whatever get to you, that's what makes you go over, like fighting things that are trying to draw you into, like, no, I want you to, I want you to freak out, I want you to not feel safe, because when you get into that, you become even more vulnerable than you already are.
Mhm.
And um it will take advantage of you. Like, that's the only right way I could put it. Like, uh, when you're inside your head, I'm not saying everyone, but for me, in a point where I'm sober, I feel like I am the only one who is in control. But when I'm taking something, it feels like there are other things in my head and around me that I can feel that are trying to pull me away from finding the point where I don't freak the fuck out and fall into a fucking rabbit hole loophole of like existential crisis, or getting to a point where I physically like can't dig myself out of that hole. I feel like there are things out there that are trying to drag you down when you're in such a state. But I feel like a big part of the fight is trying to go against that, and trying like attempting to like not verify, but like kind of like lock yourself in, like, no, I can't give into that, because if I give into that feeling or thing, it's gonna make me feel horrible, or it's gonna drag me into a place I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And obviously for me personally, that's not what I want. Like, I like
Yeah.
pushing the limits, but I don't want something to take power over me. And I've had that happen before. I think I told you about this. This one time, I think you can let bad spirits and bad things get a hold of you. I genuinely
Mhm.
do believe that. This one time I took it, I was with friends and we were exploring an abandoned place. I think I told you about this. And I was in the basement of one of the buildings, and I was like peeking off of mushrooms, and I genuinely do believe that I let something that I shouldn't have let overtake me, and it was bad. Like, looking back on it, especially, I sat there and I was in a meditative state, and I was calm, and I was like, I think I opened myself up too much. I sat there and I was like, I don't know what's out there. I don't know what is around me. I'm trying to understand like the feelings I'm feeling, and the journey, or like the experience I'm trying to get out of just the mental state I'm in. Um and I closed my eyes, and dude, it was crazy, dude. I don't like, cuz I wouldn't do this. Like, you like, jokes aside, talking about like I'm going to kill myself, I'm gonna do stupid shit. Like, I wouldn't do that because I
Mhm.
know the effect it would have on other people, and I wouldn't want to do that to anyone. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think people deserve that. Even if I'm going through suffering, like, I still wouldn't want to do that to others. But in that moment, I don't know how to describe it. I went to a different level. Um, I closed my eyes and I saw pink, and it was like, the shit you see on the floor when like oil spills.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Like the refraction of oil.
yeah, like the hollow, like
Mhm.
reflection look. I saw that all around me. I had my eyes closed, but I could still see in front of me. Um, and something took my hand, and in that moment, I walked pretty much eyes closed most of the way, all the way up to like the second or third floor of a building. I hopped over this huge, like 3-story drop hole, and I I like jumped onto the top of a building, and like, to give you an idea, the edge of the building, which is like 3 stories up, is like solid stone, so it didn't break. But everything around it on the left was like a drop, was like a 50-foot drop. And on the right was the rest of the building that was sunken in. Well, excuse me. Eyes were still closed, still like trusting, which now I realize I shouldn't have, trusting whatever it was, whether it be myself or something else overtaking me. It was a really weird, it was like a weird situation. I felt like I was in a trance. Um, and I got really emotional while that happened. You know, I was like tearing up and shit. I jumped up and I jumped up into the top, and I like started walking out to the edge. Um, and whatever it was like telling me to reach out for this branch that, mind you, was like 5 feet away from me. So I'm like literally like leaning on the edge, like on the edge of this building, like reaching for the branch, and like something snapped. I don't know what the fuck it was. I snapped out of it, and I was like, what the fuck? I freaked the fuck out. I immediately sat on the edge. I was shaking like crazy. The hell? I was like, what the fuck was just in me? Like, what just happened? I'm like looking over it, and I'm like, why am I here? I don't like being in situations like this. And it was so
Wait,
weird
so
because
you
it
had
was,
your eyes closed and you were able to navigate through that entire area? That was a demon, Sarah. You that that was a demon. That's insane.
it was very weird. I got to
It,
the
it
edge.
told so it told you to like reach out to a branch that you just like
It
couldn't
told me
quite
to,
reach.
no, the branch. So like I'm standing on the edge.
Mhm.
It's like a huge ass tree, and there's a branch like 5 feet away from me, like on the edge.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to reach for the branch, and I was like on my feet. I was like leaning over trying to fucking reach for it. And then I like snapped out of it, and I freaked out. I immediately sat down. Um
Holy crap, Sarah! I
after
remember like the oil spill mirage thing. You told me about that. I don't remember the rest of that stuff.
No, I because I was shaking. I like snapped. I was obviously like not, I don't want to say I was conscious, but like I was like actually there in the moment. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I was freaking out. I just sat on the edge for a while, and I was like visibly like I was shaking like a motherfucker. And I remember sitting there for a few minutes and being like what the fuck? Like what was that? I don't know how to describe it besides like that wasn't me. Like I wouldn't do that. Like it felt it felt uncomfortable and comfortable at the same time. Like I sat there, and then after a while, I literally, as I sat there, I like butt scooted all the way. I butt scooted probably like 15 of the 30 feet it was, and then I got locked in again. I like something happened, and I looked at the ground for a second, and it happened again. My eyes were closed, and I was like sitting there like this, like looking like a fucking like a schizo. I was like leaning over the edge, and I could see the floor like, oh, kaleidoscoping, and just feeling very warm and comforted and very comfortable with looking down and just sitting there, and like, no, this is okay, actually everything this is safe. And then I remember again leaning, and I think I heard someone in the background like call for my name again, and I like snapped out of it again, and I was like shaking again. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, I need to get out of here right now. And I think one of my friends popped up, and I was like, Shervin, Shervin, Shervin. I just kept saying his name. I was like, "Oh my god, you're here! I'm just talking so I can be conscious. Like I'm just fucking talking so that I'm not. I'm gonna reconnect. I'm talking so I can fucking still be here in the moment." Um,
So do you know who is calling out to you?
no, I don't. I I don't know.
Allow me
I
to
think.
share a theory.
Hmm.
Everybody has guardian angels, at least one.
Hmm.
Um, and everybody's got demons assigned to them as well.
Reset. Come back.
All
And
right.
find a different we talk. But
Um,
continue.
And I think this is getting real Christian spiritual on you.
That's
Um,
okay.
but that sounds exactly like a demon that was like
Follow.
coke. Hold on, I gotta get a shirt. Oh hell yeah! So it it sounds like a demon that was trying to get you to kill yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
But
freaking insane. And I think most likely that was some kind of guardian angel that saved you from giving
Shervin.
into that stuff. Well, was it Shervin that was calling out?
Yeah, it was Shervin. It was Shervin was like, Sarah, Sarah, where are you?
What about that first time you snapped out of it?
The first time I snapped out of it, it was nothing. It was just me being like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think that might have been some kind of supernatural clarity.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not against it. I don't not oh, I don't not believe you. I think something was definitely out there. It was just, it was so weird, like feeling that I was genuinely shaken up when I got to my friends. Like I was still kind of like shaking. I was like, and they all took it as like, oh girl, like you're tripping, and I was like, no, low key I am, but like also I just had a really scary experience with myself, and I know to you guys it probably seems irresponsible right now, which honestly you're not wrong, but like
I didn't know you could ride the cat. My bad.
you're fine. Um, it was weird. It was a very weird situation. I know this probably sounds stupid, but in a way, I'm kind of glad I got to experience that because it was just, I don't know. It was genuinely just crazy. Like it was me, but it wasn't me.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck? Let me on the cat. I want back on the cat. Oh,
Like it was just very odd. It was spooky. It genuinely was. It had me spooked for a bit because I
yeah,
didn't
no, I
know.
yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. Well, hey, you know, spirits are out there. I've heard
you know.
stories of there's this one guy that he was a drug addict. He tried to kill himself. Um, and he ended up actually doing the attempt, but by tying a rope around his neck and then throwing himself off a cliff.
Mm.
Um, and then he passed out, or like he blacked out, and everything went black, and he felt this immense tightness around his neck because he was hanging himself. Um, and then there was a light in the distance that just kept getting brighter and brighter and brighter until it overtook him. And then he woke up at the bottom of the cliff, and the rope was 6 feet longer than it was before. And he was sitting down at the bottom of the cliff with the rope untied around his neck.
Hmm.
So he became a Christian, and he turned himself into prison, and he joined prison ministries, and he got better. He got out, um, but one day he relapsed, um, and he had a vision of him going up to a bunch of demons. Um, there was a bunch of demons eating at a table, and he went up to the table and he started eating with them.
Hmm.
And the the demons pretty much looked at him and was like, they didn't talk to him, but they turned to like a really big demon that was at the end of the table, and was like, "This thing is back, uh, and now he's back to eat at our master's table. Who is he to eat at both tables here?" Like pretty much, I don't remember what the words were, but it was like he eats from the carpenter's table, and now he's eating from our master's table.
Mm.
Um, and then they all like chased him. I
Oh.
think they chased him. I don't know what they did, but it was something bad happened. But he stopped tripping.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, interesting stuff like that. Uh, the carpenter being Jesus, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Um,
I think experiences like that definitely, like, I feel like experiencing that, whatever the fuck that was, definitely brought me to, like, you know what? Now when I take it, no matter what the fuck, I'm not gonna listen to anything. Like, even if
and
I'm,
maybe don't do it in an abandoned building. Whose
yeah,
idea was that, Sarah?
mine. It was mine. I'll take credit.
Stop
It
doing
was.
it. That's retarded.
I know, I
Don't
know.
die.
I
You're
was like, ooh, cool stuff. Let me
you're
do
too
it.
swaggy to die, bro.
I won't. I'm immortal. No, I'm
That's
kidding.
true, actually. I didn't think about that.
I'm immortal.
Anyways, crazy how we pretty much only did all that off of one topic.
I know.
We locked in.
We locked in. I think that was good.
Yeah. I need to go to bed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
it is 17 minutes past your bedtime.
worth it. But yeah.
This is good. I like this. If
Yup.
anyone ever sees this, you guys gotta genuinely please s- tell us your opinion. I'm probably gonna send this to a few friends just to see what the vibe is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had a fucking blast. I really do like doing stuff like this. This is perfect.
And don't hate for our opinions.
Yes, everyone has their own opinions.
Yeah.
We're just talking.
A
We're just two
sign of
yappers
a
yapping.
strong mind is being able to converse with people who disagree with you and not get pissed off. That's why we're
Um,
able to stay friends.
yes, and I think that makes you stronger.
Yeah. Um, but yeah.
This is the end of, what do we call this podcast? Podcast number one.
Uh,
No, we'll call it the end of Yap Sesh.
an idiot's guide to no.
We're just two fuckers
A
talking.
philosopher's guide to idiocy.
Okay, I fuck with that. I think that's I think that's good.
Something like that. I don't know. I'll workshop it. We'll
We're
figure
still
something out.
figuring it out. We're still
Yeah.
figuring it out.
I don't know. Anyways, cut.